All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Willow Legal Group Coffee Chat. Thanks for joining us. Lindsay, do you want to introduce our guest?
Yes. Today we are chatting with Elyse Dworin. She's the founder of Elevated Learning Solutions. Elyse takes a holistic academic support practice. Elevated Learning Solutions. I can't even read today. Is a holistic academic support practice that helps students build confidence and independence by understanding how they learn best. She has a strong background in math and dual degrees in special education and exceptional learners, and she integrates subject-specific instruction with metacognition, executive functioning, and study strategies to support the whole child. Elyse's approach is shaped by her own journey with ADHD, anxiety, and health challenges, which deepened her awareness of the powerful connections between brain, body, environment, and daily habits. This perspective guides her teaching and allows her to design creative, individualized strategies that honor each student's unique strengths. And in addition to her work with children, Elyse also provides parent coaching and professional development for schools. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's good to see you both of you.
So This is really timely with everybody getting back to school.
That's true.
Yeah. It's true.
That's true. So I guess tell us a little bit more about the families that you work with.
Sure. So I have a background in special education. Everyone on my team has a background in special education. So we primarily focus on neurodivergent children and their families, although we do have many students and clients who aren't neurodivergent. Because if you need help in school, you need help in school, whether you have neurodivergence or not. But I primarily, personally, as a team, we work pre-K through 12th grade. I personally like middle school and up. I like the older guys. I work a lot with children and teens that have ADHD, autism, learning disabilities such as dyscalculia, dyslexia, things like that. A lot of families come to us when their children have worked with other tutors and they just are not seeing the same success, because we do more than just tutoring, right? A normal tutor will just go over the material with you and get you through, and to me, that's a stopgap. And so we really focus on helping kids know their bodies, know their brains, understanding what's working, what's not working, why, what strategies work for them and what doesn't work and why, so that they can become independent and develop the skills to stop gaps from happening.
Cool. So tell us a little bit more about kind of how those techniques work. Like, you kind of listed a couple of ways that you do that. Modeling with narration. Tell me a little bit more about how you teach this stuff.
Yeah. So the modeling with narration, I think, that's something that I do in session, but it's something that parents can do at home.
Okay.
So it's really important. So when, as adults, we have learned tons of compensatory skills. Right? We don't even realize we're doing it half the time. We make a list, we write out a schedule, we organize our time in a certain way, knowing that this is going to take longer than this, or like if I have these 3 errands to run, I'm going to go in this order, and here's why. And so when you use those skills and you narrate them to your child, or just out loud, your kids are listening, whether you think they're listening or not, even when you're not talking to them. When you narrate your thinking, your kids are learning. I mean, how often do your kids parrot back things that you said, but not necessarily said to them, and you didn't even realize they were listening to you? They listen, right? But they're more likely to listen to you when you're modeling and narrating than if you are lecturing them.
That makes some sense.
So modeling and narrating, or even involving them in the conversation and saying, I have these 3 things to do. can you help me organize my time? Like, how do you think it's best that we do this, right? Involving them, that's the best way that as a parent you can help your child learn those skills. I do that when I work with a student one-on-one. And we really do, we do a lot of working in bite-sized pieces, right? Breaking things down, the smaller the better, little by little. And really, really turning it to the child, right? So, okay, I see this is overwhelming you. Why? Let's figure out why. And that's a hard question for kids, especially the younger ones, right? So sometimes giving them choices. Well, do is this too overwhelming of a task? Does it seem too long? Do you not know how to start? Do you, or even sometimes it just begins with a child is acting out and helping them identify what it is that's dysregulating them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because sometimes it's a school assignment. Sometimes they're worried about a friend. Sometimes they got into an argument. Sometimes they're hungry or they're tired, right? And just helping them tune into their bodies to recognize what's going on with me right now, right? Even as adults, that's hard for us. And so like the younger you can teach a child to do that, the more independent they become.
Okay.
No, that makes sense. It was a very broad question, so I tried to like.
No, I know. No, that was good. And my daughter's in second grade this year, so we now have homework to turn in, and so we're trying to get into that habit of we come home, we have a snack, we do our homework, and she has been really resisting it. But then this morning it was funny. I said, "Okay, well, we got to hurry up and get this done. We didn't do it over the weekend," and her immediate thing is, "I hate math." And then this morning she just went and did it. And she goes, "This is actually fun if I just do it." I said, "Oh, yeah." So I think had I maybe last week gotten more into what you were saying, like, well, why are you resisting this? Is it you don't understand it? Is there something you'd rather be doing, like playing? But
and it's very likely the latter.
I'm sure.
But I mean, yeah, it could be that she also is worried that she doesn't understand it, right? Sometimes kids feel like, well, when we did it at school, I did it with a friend, and it was so long ago that I don't remember what it was that we did. And then once they get started, they're like, oh, okay, I'm fine, right? So sometimes it's just getting them started. My daughter used to do the same thing, and so for the first question, I would write for her and just ask her to tell me what to write.
Yeah,
and that got her. It eased her in.
Yeah, it's going to be a learning process for both of us. So it's great that you do offer those resources for the parents as well.
Yeah. I mean, not every parent is a teacher. So,
as a parent who has had to teach because MCPS has dropped the ball, yes, not every parent is a teacher. Nor do we remember what you have to teach. Like, remember the subjects, right? Especially as you get into middle school and beyond.
Yeah.
Then you can only do so much IXL, or IXL does not work for all kids.
It doesn't.
And some kids the default.
And some kids love it, some kids hate it, but that is the system that the school is using right now.
Yep.
I will say in terms of IXL, the more you can get the child to do work on paper and not in their head, the more successful they will be. That's it's an ongoing battle. Yeah. Yes. And that's really, I mean, the teachers should be requiring work to be turned in, but not all do that. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, parents, I mean, I would say when I first started offering parent coaching, when I was in the classroom, parents frequently asked me, how do I support my own child? How do I support my own child? And I loved giving that guidance and helping. When I started offering it as a service, when I left the classroom and started Elevated, I had to deal with a little bit of imposter syndrome because I was like, what parent wants me to tell them how to parent?
Mm-hmm.
Right. But it really is. I mean, a lot of parents, they parenting does not come with a manual.
Correct.
And so parents do the best that they can. But I think that it's very different. It's a very different skill when you're dealing with behavior management versus academic management versus, right. And they're different. There are lots of different aspects to parenting. And I've had parents come to me for guidance in both.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, I enjoy the conversations. I enjoy the support because I just want everyone to succeed and help.
Well, and I think as we are much more involved parents, right, especially when it comes to academics and those types of things, than our parents were. I mean, at least I can say my parents for sure.
Same.
That we didn't have that same like modeling or any of that, right? We have a lot more access to information about our kids and about how they're doing, both good and bad, right?
So much information.
So much. So we often say in our house, gosh, wouldn't my husband and I joke back and forth, wouldn't it be nice to know like instantly what your grades were at all times and not just like hope and pray that you did good enough and at the end of the semester find out how you did?
It's both good and bad.
Right.
Yeah.
It creates a lot of neuroses for some of the older kids and for some parents. There are some real type A parents that are like on top of grades, and it's not always healthy.
Yeah. I was going to ask, just kind of piggybacking off what you were talking about with the parents. I think, do you have a couple of tips or strategies you would be willing to kind of offer just all parents in general for how to support their kids, especially now as we're getting back into school, back into the swing of homework and all of those things? Just like what are your general top 2 or 3 pieces of advice?
So I would say, gosh, and I know I wrote these down when you asked me, and now I'm trying to remember what I said. I would say for one is the modeling, right? We talked about the modeling with narration. We talked about, in involving them, and giving guidance in terms of questions, because your kids know more than you think. If you turn it back on them and have them actually think about it, right? Instead of, hey, you have 4 assignments tomorrow, because we can all access that now too. What work do you have tomorrow? And let's not rely on your memory. Let's check, right? Let's sit down. Let's build this habit of checking. I want you to check, and I want to see you do it every day to make sure that you're on top of it. I would say, or and asking questions. When they say, I don't know what to do, instead of giving them that first step, say, okay, what is the very first thing? Okay, or name one thing that you have to do, and let's work our way back. Is there anything we have to do before that? So making them think through it builds that skill. And the same thing with the emotions and the feelings. It's all questions. And then the other piece, and I know this is going to be a very unpopular response, but I would say help your child develop comfort with silence. We're living in an age of information and constant stimulation. And I mean, at school they're on screens, at home they're on screens, we're on screens, and literally so screens provide constant rapid neurofeedback. And most kids, you cut that off, you get them off the screen, you'll notice all of a sudden the behaviors, right? Whoa, what just happened? The brain like shudders and stops and freaks out because the feedback that it loves, all that dopamine it was creating just stops. So they need to get comfortable even if it's like 5 minutes a day, a couple times a day, just being, just sitting, whether it's they can color, they can just sit. I would say family meditation minute is amazing. And I mean, that sounds so silly, but just 1 minute of tuning into your body and like paying attention to your breath or paying attention to how the parts of your body you can feel in your chair. It really does. It rewires the brain. It allows the brain to function better and calmer. It's really important. And it's something that a lot of our kids and us, we're all lacking it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I could probably get them to do that for a minute. Maybe 2.
I would start with 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was in the classroom, we would start every class with a minute. But some kids can't even do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say in second grade, start with 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And work your way up to a minute. The goal is 30 minutes, okay. But it takes a while to get there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know a number of adults that can't do 30 minutes.
I know. I was just thinking, man, it's going
quiet.
to take me a while to get to 30 minutes.
Yeah. So I would say, so you start small, build up. And also there are plenty of podcasts or guided videos. You got to close your eyes though, so you're not looking at the video or turn off the screen, but that prompt you through visualizations or tuning into your body, which actually makes it easier because you're keeping your brain busy. But by tuning into your body, you are tuning out other stimuli and you're reconnecting to your own body. Because we're always flooded with stimuli, we tend to be very disconnected from our own bodies, which results in meltdowns, or erratic moods, anxiety, depression. So that added piece will make it easier to increase the time.
Cool. To give that a try.
Yeah. So what inspired you to focus on this area?
That's a great question. So when I was leaving the classroom, I really wanted to, I'd never wanted to leave education. I love teaching, but I wanted to incorporate the things that I was passionate about. And I think I've just always been very holistic and passionate about like the mind-body connection and the gut-brain connection, even before it was like a thing. It was always just something, I always managed my health with food. I knew that certain foods had different impacts on my body. I became certified to teach mindfulness when I was in the classroom, and I was just amazed at what I saw that do. And just more and more and more, like every time I delved deeper into the natural approach to things, to health, I just became increasingly fascinated by it. And I've seen the wonders that natural, treatments or a change in environment, a change in diet, a change in sleep, a change in exercise, all of those things, that the impact that it has. And the more I worked with kids on those things, the more I realized that they had a harder time reflecting on what was happening and making the connections. And so I started building the body awareness piece into it, and it just blossomed from there.
Awesome.
Yeah, great. You want to ask our final question?
All right, final question we ask everybody.
Okay.
One item you can't live without in your day-to-day life.
Oh gosh. There are so many. It'd be really bad to see my phone, wouldn't it? I would say most definitely coffee.
I will agree with you on that.
Yeah, it's like my saving grace.
Yes.
I myself am neurodivergent, and I I don't take medication anymore, and that is my daily medicine.
There's just something so comforting about that nice warm cup of coffee.
My brain does not function without a cup of coffee a day.
Yep. Good answer.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. And we will drop Elise's contact information in the comments if you want to get a hold of her and reach out to talk about any of this, any of her coaching programs or tutoring programs. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
So have a great day.
You too.